I think I'm just gonna enjoy this morning. I snuggled in deeper, but then she began to stir. Oh, come on.
Ellie, is that you?
She squirmed slightly. Yeah.
Good.
She turned around to face me and snuggled back into place. I smiled. Morning, babe.
Good morning.
She gave me a kiss on the nose. Oh,
What are you talking about?
breakfast. I was not thinking about breakfast, but it couldn't hurt.
What kind of breakfast?
How about pancakes? She shook her head. Eggs? She shook her head again. Corned beef hash?
Corned beef hash?
She raised an eyebrow.
What's that?
Now we're getting somewhere. It's, well, as the name implies, corned beef and potatoes.
Oh, well, I'm sure it'll be good.
She wrapped her arms around me and exaggerated a breath.
I can smell it already.
You want me to make it now, don't you?
Yes.
Fine. I slowly sat up, but Yuri's grip remained strong. Yuri, if you want me to make breakfast, you're gonna have to let go.
No.
Fine, no breakfast. She let go. I chuckled. Stay in bed, I'll bring it up here.
Ah, thank you. I'm so tired.
She wasn't usually that cuddly. Or that tired. Last night really got to her, huh? My smile disappeared. Oh, I made myself sad. I clicked my tongue and fully got up my bed. I kept my pajamas on because, hell, it's my own house and it's a day off. Right? Well, if it isn't, I guess me and Yuri are just going to have to skip school. It's not exactly a good thing to be doing, but I'm not going to ignore what happened yesterday. That, I feel, is worthy of some time off. Love you, I said, and decided whether or not I should brush my teeth.
Love you too.
I smiled. She was probably blushing up a storm now. I yawned and walked towards my bedroom door.
Brush your teeth.
Damn. Do I have any corned beef? Crap, I'm not sure if I do. I have cans of corned beef hash, but that's kind of lame. I wanted to make it. Have the meal be special. But of course, I didn't have corned beef. Who the hell just buys corned beef? I probably have potatoes. But you can't just eat hash. I'm sure you can. I grabbed a can and pulled out a pan from the cupboard. Cooking it in a pan should help it look less like dog food. As the food began to sizzle, I stood around, stirring occasionally. Well, this is boring. I like cooking. Hell, I adore cooking. It's one of my favorite hobbies. But this is not cooking. This is stirring and waiting. Ugh. After a few more minutes, I turned off the stove and put the food on a plate. It no longer looked like dog food. That's a victory in my book. I walked back upstairs and into my bedroom. Can confirm, corned beef does look like dog food. I flicked on the lights. Sorry about that, but I brought breakfast. She sat up quickly.
It smells lovely.
I chuckled. It smells like cooked meat, you flatterer. But I'm glad you're happy about it. I walked over and sat on the bed, handing the plate off to her. I didn't bring any condiments because I wasn't sure if you wanted any.
I'm not the biggest fan of condiments, so you made the right choice.
Okay, good. So...
All right.
I watched Yuri as she slowly put the fork to her mouth. She paused. Damn.
You're not eating anything.
I will later. But you go first.
All right, then.
She put the fork in her mouth. She actually ate it. People really will eat anything. Just kidding. It may look like dog food, but goddamn do I wish I was the one eating it. After a few minutes of silence, Yuri doesn't like to talk with her mouth full. She's respectable like that. She put down the fork.
That was really good, Hallie. I have to say, I was skeptical, but I'm glad it was as good as you had said it was.
Score. She wiped her mouth with the napkin I gave her and put the plate off to the side.
So, do we have any kind of day planned today? If not, I'm perfectly content to just lounge around. If you are, okay with it, that is. It is your house.
Sure, you can hang out here. I chuckled. If I said no, that would make me an asshole.
That's not true. You have the right to say no to me, Hallie.
I know, but I don't want to. Stay here with me. I enjoy your company. She blushed at the comment, but she smiled.
Why do you enjoy my company, exactly?
I smiled at her attempt, but I played into it. Because I love you, Yuri. She giggled.
In that case, I think I can stick around for a little bit longer.
I'm glad. It was a few hours later. I was watching TV as Yuri sat beside me, reading a book. But I had been keeping an eye on her. Why? Because Yuri was yet to go to the bathroom, which only began to confirm my theories. I sighed. Guess that's one more serious conversation I need to have with her. Well, hey, maybe corned beef hash just doesn't set off her irritable bowel syndrome. But I need to make sure. Maybe it really is IBS, and corned beef hash didn't affect her. Oh, there you go. Which is a possibility. So who knows?
Oh,
I snapped to attention and looked at Yuri. Are you alright?
yeah, I'm fine. It's just a lot more sensitive than I thought it would be.
She had been scratching her arm. She pulled down her sleeve to reveal a stained bandage. I inhaled sharply. I think it's time we changed those. Yuri nodded and I stood up. She grabbed my hands and we walked to the bathroom together. Okay, let's see. I'm running low on medical supplies, it seems. That's worrying. But at least I know where they have been disappearing to, right? I shook my head. I removed Yuri's old bandages. There, hopefully the air feels good.
It does, a little bit.
I smiled. I grabbed a nearby washcloth and got it wet. Afterwards, I delicately wiped off some of the blood, gave her arms a kiss, and wrapped fresh bandages around her arm. Once again, being delicate. Okay, there we go. I kissed her bandaged arm and she giggled.
Are you gonna do that every time?
Hopefully there won't be any more times, but yeah. At least for now. I could feel the wincing. I pulled away from her and she tried to put her sleeve down. I stopped that. Leave them out. Let them breathe a bit.
But...
Yuri. I grabbed her hand. If you're trying to hide them, don't. It may be that you think the sweater is comfortable, which is viable, but it can't be comfortable when it's imprisoning your injuries like that. But if you really are just trying to hide them, like I said, don't. I kissed her bandaged arm again. It tasted terrible, but the message was there. Why did you taste the bandage when you kissed it? I have nothing to be ashamed of around me. I didn't exactly sign up for this when I told you I liked you, but I signed up for it when I told you I loved you. Loving someone is more than just loving their positive features. Loving someone is loving someone, which means loving them even despite their flaws, or faults rather. I know I've said things in this vein before, but I want to keep saying these things, because hopefully, one of these days, it'll get through to you. I poked her forehead and she giggled. Oh, pardon me.
Thank you, Hallie. It makes me really happy to hear that.
I smiled. Good. The conversation slowly died out, and I looked at her arms again. For what was probably the 15th time that day, I sighed internally, like ripping off a band-aid. Yuri?
Yes?
I'm sorry to instantly go from a happy thing to a not very good thing, but I think we should talk. She clearly knew what I meant by that. She sighed.
All right. Let's talk.
I led her out of the bathroom, back downstairs, and into the living room. I shut off the TV.
Getting serious, huh?
Yeah, I sighed nervously. This is not an easy conversation. Band-Aid, Band-Aid! Yuri, we need to talk about the things on your arm.
Yes, of course.
I know you said you didn't want to tell anybody, but I think maybe some form of therapy would do you some...
No!
I flinched slightly at the yell.
Sorry, I mean... Please, no.
Why not? I can understand it, yeah, but... Therapists help, Yuri. And I know I can't force you into anything, but if you don't want to better yourself, I just can't agree with that.
I want to better myself, Ellie. I really fully do. But please, not through therapy. Isn't there another way?
Well, probably, yeah. But it's not going to be as effective. You can dislike the idea, but you're going to have to take a bit of a plunge here, babe.
I know, but I hate therapists.
Any particular reason why?
Oh, I don't know. They always ask so many personal questions. And they're complete strangers. What do they need with my information anyway? But it took so long for me to be honest with you about my cutting, and you're my boyfriend. But this therapist, I didn't even know them.
I held my tongue on the fact that she didn't actually tell me about her cutting. It was a complicated situation, though. So...
Ellie, are you even listening?
Of course. I'm just thinking all of it over.
What did I say then?
That you hate therapists because they're complete strangers. And that it took courage for you to even tell me. She instantly deflated.
So you were listening?
Of course I was. You know why? I put my hand to her cheek. Because I love you. I love you so, so much. And I care about you so, so much. We're having this conversation because I want to see you at your best. I pecked her on the lips. You understand that, don't you? She nodded. Good.
Oh, all right. I'm not going to therapy.
Damn it.
But I want to be better. I've never ever liked cutting. So I'll try, okay? No, wait. I won't self-harm. Not anymore. But I need to know.
She grabbed my hands.
Do you promise to keep loving me?
Why do...
Yes or no?
Yes. She seemed to stop and think about something. Then she kissed me on the nose.
That's all I needed to hear. I'm going to need some help here, okay? I need you to stick with me. I need to know if you can handle my down points. If I ever get close.
There was a poignant pause. And then I gave her a tight hug. I'll be here, I said, resting my chin on her shoulder. Forever and always. If you ever get close, tell me. And if I'm not nearby, call me. Text me, anything. Hell, email me if you have to. I want to be there for you. I don't want you to suffer alone anymore.
Thank you, Hallie.
Even though the conversation ended on a relatively okay note, it still felt sour. Something I had said was giving me a bad taste in my mouth. Something was wrong with the way I approached that, but I don't know what. For the life of me, I couldn't figure it out. But it was looming over me, like a homework assignment I forgot to finish or a person I forgot to call back. But on an even worse scale, given the situation, though until I figured it out, I was a sitting duck. The rest of the day was uneventful. You want to just do takeout? I hardly made breakfast, I know, but I'm really not in the mood to cook. Well, that was technically an event. I felt too burnt out to cook. That's never happened.
Sure.
Well, that was the answer I was hoping for. Hush, Watch. I got a late start today. She seemed a little disappointed, but hopefully we could get something she liked. I walked over to my fridge and pulled one of the business cards off of it. I knew it was a good idea to keep these things. Okay, here's a good-looking one. I've never actually called one of these things, but here goes. I pulled out my phone. 70%. That's new. I shook my head and dialed into the number. Around 20 minutes later, I heard a knock on the door. About damn time. I opened the door, took the food, waved goodbye to the cute boy, and closed the door again. There was a cute boy? Food's here. I set the food down on the kitchen counter and began to remove each thing from the bag. Some chow mein, some orange chicken, some steamed vegetables, the usuals. Yuri walked into the kitchen, taking a seat at the bar. It was one of those nights. I sat next to her and handed out the food. She got her steamed vegetables and beef, I got my chow mein and orange chicken. It's no wonder I run a 15-minute mile. I clicked my tongue. Oh well, if you're too afraid of death, you'll be too afraid to live. I opened up my box of food and began to eat. Yuri strangely opened up her box and folded it down to make a plate? The hell?
What?
I didn't know you could do that. I looked at my own takeout and folded the box down into a plate. Haha! Oh man, that's awesome! Yuri nodded.
I read about it in one of those Secret Functions of Things articles. This is the first time I've ever been able to put it into practice.
Well, thanks for showing it to me, I said, and then took a bite out of my food. Now much more enthused about it. Yuri took a bite of hers too, but seemed less enthused. She seemed to just kind of picking at it, or be just kind of picking at it. Something wrong? I asked. She had a noticeably smaller appetite than usual. Either that or she didn't want the food. But that was her order. Did I mishear her?
No. I'm just not very hungry is all. I'm sure I'll eat all of this, but I'm going to move a little slower than I usually would. Sorry to have made you order me something that I wasn't going to eat.
It's cool. I shrugged. It was like $8. Not much was lost. That's kind of a lot.
Yeah, but it's the principle of the thing.
Fuck the principal. Yuri gasped, presumably at my use of profanity. She was always the sophisticated type. $8, babe. I grabbed my plate and stood up.
What are you doing?
Proving a point. I walked over to the trash can and dumped my food out. What? Jesus Christ, dude.
Ellie, why?
$8, once again, down the drain. I pulled out my phone. What's the number for the pizza place down the street? After we both enjoyed our pizza pie, we were back to sitting on the couch. Why did I throw away that orange chicken? That's what I'm wondering, bruh. I'm very impulsive. Anyway, I had turned on a random movie, the usual for our lounging around session. Wait. Yes?
Yes?
She said. Does your aunt know you've been here? I had remembered right then.
She's on a business trip for a little while.
Oh. I lied back down. Good. Anyway, we were watching a movie. American, as usual. I got a really good deal from the cable guy. Gave me a bunch of channels, all with subtitled American movies. Well, so I've been using it a lot. But it was this comedy movie about these two guys. They were stoners, and they were trying to get to what seems to be some kind of fast food restaurant. It's that... I forgot their names, but they went to White Castle. I haven't been paying a ton of attention to it, but I don't know why not. It was hilarious. But sadly, before I knew it, it was over. And then one called Happy Gilmore came on. I spent nearly 2 hours giggling to myself. But when that movie ended, I realized there was a distinct lack of another person giggling. Yuri laughed through the stoner one, but why not this? Oh, she's snoozing. She was asleep. I smiled and leaned over and onto her.
Wrap your arms around me,
She whispered. I complied. 4 days until Valentine's Day. Hopefully she isn't expecting anything too grand. I'm saving the big stuff for her birthday. But regarding Valentine's, I had a gift in mind for her. Though, sadly, not anything too special outing-wise. I probably can't get us any kind of reservation given how long I've waited. Oh, that's an idea. I smiled to myself, and slowly drifted to sleep. You gonna hit up Natsuki for another holiday? I woke up in pain. Ah, God. I slept in a weird position, but I still felt nice, at least on the side, or on the inside. I turned my head to Yuri. Sleeping. Can't have any of that. I kissed her on the head. Yuri, I commanded, voice as deep as I could make it. Oh, so Yuri. Wake up, I want to spend time with you.
Why?
Because I love you.
Good enough for me.
I smiled at the energy. Good. We have school tomorrow, so I want to make the most of today. If that's okay with you.
I have no qualms with that.
Perfect. I guess this confirms that it was Saturday the day before.
I will have to run back to my house, though. You can only wear one sweater for so long.
Well, shoot. I looked down at myself. I was wearing the sweater Yuri had made for me. How often are you supposed to wash these things?
I do a specific load of laundry for the ones I have every other weekend.
Wait, the ones you have? How many do you have? She looked away, seemingly in shame.
Around 12.
12? My eyes bulged out of their sockets. What's wrong with having lots of sweaters? You, really like turtlenecks, huh?
Oh, yes. Even if I was wearing them for, shameful reasons. I did eventually start to love the feel of a turtleneck sweater. It feels like someone is just hugging you, enveloping you in their warmth. I no longer need the feeling of warmth, of course. You give me plenty of that.
I blushed.
But I still like to wear them. They become quite the piece of comfort clothing.
I nodded. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I smiled. And you can be sure I'll never stop, being a replacement for your turtleneck sweaters.
I would appreciate that, yes.
I leaned in to give her a hug. She gladly reciprocated. After a few moments, I pulled back, giving her a kiss on the way. She giggled.
Okay, that was cute, but I should be going.
She stood up off the couch and walked towards the entrance. Love you.
Love you.
I heard the door close and I was alone. When in hell on... Crap, I'm alone with my thoughts. I gotta do something.